Hello and welcome to Victoria's Cantina, where today we're having a look at the Bandai Tamashii Nations S.H. Figuarts Star Wars Princess Leia Organa. This was probably the one S.H. Figuarts figure I was most looking forward to. Huge Princess Leia fan, especially of that classic white gown that she wore in A New Hope, and I'm especially excited to add this one to the collection. So if you've been keeping track of this line, basically the packaging aesthetic is the same on all the S.H. Figuarts, at least for most of them. It's pretty similar. It's very small, very compact box that is essentially what it needs to be. It's not flashy, it's basically straight up. Tells you what it is, Star Wars, and really nice. I like that it's small and compact and not a whole lot going on. You do get a nice image of the figure on the side. And on the back, you can see the figure in different scenarios. You see her accessories, see how she's posed, and it works. It gets the job done for sure. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a moment to get her unboxed. When we come back, we'll take a closer look at Princess Leia. Alright, you guys, so here is our princess out of the packaging, and she is looking very, very nice. Now, figures in white outfits or white uniforms are always very tricky to review because the camera tends to oversaturate their clothing a little bit. I'm doing my best with the settings and with the setup I have here in order to prevent that as best I can, but I think there's still a little bit of it going on. So I do need to tell you really quickly that her costume is not completely white like you might expect. There's actually some tan shading. It's kind of subtle and it's actually less noticeable under bright lighting than it is under darker lighting. So let's kill some of these lights here and see if you can pick it up a little bit more. You can see it a little bit on her chest area, a little bit of that beige shading that they applied to the costume. And I know that's to give it a little bit more detail, a little bit more dimension. Let's go a step further. Now we have basically no lighting and I think you might be able to still see it a little bit. The camera is like really working to focus here. But yeah, it's a very interesting approach that they took for this Princess Leia figure. And I mean, I don't mind that so much. I know that what they were going for, guard your eyes there, was to highlight the sculpt. And that's really tricky to do on a completely white figure without overdoing it or without being too subtle where there's almost no effect. And they actually did a really good job here of making sure that it was subtle, but still effective. Interestingly, there isn't any of that beige shading on the little hoodie. You can see that it's currently down, but you do kind of see it a little bit more on the sleeves and on the back of the skirt. And the whole thing is very beautifully sculpted. It's a very nicely done costume. You can see that there are perforations in the skirt in order to help you with the articulation. Overall, they did a very nice job with the physique and the silhouette of the figure, making her look like Princess Leia, so I'm really happy about that. Here's a close-up look at the figure. Overall, they did a really nice job with her likeness. It looks a lot like Carrie Fisher. Now, I don't think that the facial shape is 100% accurate. I feel like it should be a little bit more rounded. It seems a little bit more like an oval, and I feel that it's ever so slightly off from completely looking like Princess Leia for that reason. The skin tone itself is also really nice. I think they did a really nice job, not making it too pale and also not making it too dark. It's always a very tricky balance. In this case, I feel like they did good, but it could have used a little bit more shading around the face to kind of contour her cheeks with a little bit more blush. And also the lips should be a more vibrant red color. I feel like they're just kind of dark here. But other than that, it does look really good. The eyes are very clean. The eyebrows are very cleanly applied. All in all, it looks very nice. The hair is really nicely sculpted as well. It's a dark brown color. You can see that the buns are sculpted very nicely as well. There's a lot of good detail going on in there. And there's also a little bit of a black wash to her hair. And you can kind of see that a little bit more up top, where there's a little bit of a black wash on there to kind of bring out a little bit more of that detail. Overall, very nice hair. Very, very, very nice. And this is what I mean, like it looks very close to Carrie Fisher, but it's just slightly off. And I think it's mostly like the bottom half of the face where that's the issue. It's just like the shape should be a little bit more rounded. So I did mention that she has this piece right here. This is her hood. It's a separate piece, and that's why you can see the skin of her neck right there. The rest of the costume, like I said, very nicely sculpted, and you can definitely see a little bit of that tan coloration that was applied to the costume to bring out some of the sculpt. And it looks really good. It looks really, really good. Now, it's interesting because when you lift up her torso, you can actually see the belt a little bit better, and that's also nicely done. There's the back side of it. You can see there's actually a latch right there. Very cool. Didn't even know Leia had that. And then again, there's a perforation here on the skirt in a few different spots. So you have one right here, you have one right here, and then on this side as well. And that's to help out when you're posing the figure and such. Underneath, you can see she does have painted legs. She's got her princess panties. And they actually did a pretty nice job at what they did. I don't want to talk too much about that, but you know, the legs do look nice. The boots also look really nice. And you can see that they're nicely sculpted. And again, they're not just like flat out white. There's a little bit of shading on there in beiges to kind of make it a little bit more detailed. So that is nice. The soles of the shoes are dark brown color. Now let's go ahead and talk articulation. So here at the neck, Leia does have a ball joint at the neck. She also has one at the head. So that enables you to achieve a better range of articulation, better range of movement. You can cock her head to the side like that, like she's like, what? You can have it straight. You can have her looking up. You can have her looking down. That's awesome. That's an awesome range of movement right there. Of course, you can turn it side to side. Here at the shoulder, she does have a butterfly type joint, so you can see that it goes forward, it goes back, and that is pretty nice. You can make her arms go straight out. You can rotate them. Here at the elbow, she does have a bend. It's not the best movement, and I think part of that is because of the design of the costume, but it's not quite even a full 90 degrees, so that is a little bit of a drawback compared, like, for example, to the 40th anniversary Black Series Princess Leia. The hands are on ball pins, so you can make them go up, you can make them go around, and you can interchange them with the other hands that she comes with. There's a very nice joint here at the torso, so she's got some really good movement there, and I greatly appreciate that. Now, of course, this is always fun. The plastic molding of the skirt makes her a little bit hard to pose. You can bring her legs out like that, but they don't come out all the way. They are hindered by the skirt there, so it's not the end of the world. I mean, it would be nice if you could move it a little bit more, but it looks great. It's hard for me to want to sacrifice the aesthetics for a little bit more movement. And here at the hips, you can rotate the legs. I don't think they drop down. I'm not getting that typical drop down that we get with Star Wars figures from S.H. Figuarts. You get a nice bend there at the knee. The leg does kick forward as well, but again, you are going to be hindered by the skirt. And then here at the ankle, it bends up and down. You can pivot it back and forth. It doesn't really have like a tilt to it so much. And then the toes are also articulated. So that is pretty nicely articulated all the way around. Below the waist, it's a little bit harder to work with, but above the waist, she's pretty awesome. Now, as far as hands go, Princess Leia comes with 3 sets of hands. Out of the packaging, she's going to come with 2 relaxed hands. She also comes with 2 a little bit more relaxed hands that are a little bit more open. And then she comes with 2 blaster holding hands where the fingers are posed to be pulling the trigger on her guns. As far as the guns themselves are concerned, you get her sporting blaster, and this is gorgeously sculpted. They did a very nice job with this, just bringing out all of that detail. It's very rigid, very quality filling plastic, and you can see that all the details are there. It's gorgeous. And the same is true for her Imperial issue blaster that she comes with as well. Very nice sculpt, very nice coloring, very simplistic coloring, but it is what it needs to be. So not a surprise there. Figuarts always does a great job with the accessories. All right, so we do have an interchangeable faceplate. So what we need to do is pull off her buns. Yes, I did just say that. We're going to pull off Princess Leia's buns. And they just come off like this. And then we'll pull off the other one. This one's a little harder to remove. But we'll pull it off like this, almost. Oh, there we go. Dropped it. And then now she looks like she's wearing earphones or something. So she's got a faceplate right here. And what we're going to do next is we are going to pull this faceplate off as easily and delicately as we can. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and leave her there. And we'll pull in the alternate head. So here is the faceplate. And you can see that it is a little bit different. The likeness is very similar, but she's kind of looking off to the side. So we're going to go ahead and put this in its place. Just kind of pop that in there. We'll go ahead and snap that closed. And then we'll go ahead and grab her buns and put those back on. Now, they do have an L and an R on them, so you're not going to get mixed up, but you do need to align them properly. They pop right in. Then we need to do the other one. And it pops right in. Yep. And there you go. So now we have a Leia that's kind of giving you the eye. She's like, oh. But yeah, it looks nice, I guess. I mean, it's different. I feel like the lips on this one are even lighter than the other one. Are they? Yeah, they are. Look, the lips are a little bit lighter on the alternate faceplate than they are on the regular one. So, I mean, I don't really... We can get her to stand. I don't really mind it all that much, but she's a little tricky to stand if I didn't already mention that. Yeah, it's all right, I guess. I think I would have preferred something... I don't mind the eyes looking off to the side, but I think I would have preferred like a more expressive looking face. Like maybe she's smiling, or maybe she's grinning, or she's looking a little fierce or something. I mean, this just kind of looks like she's just like trying to like sneak by you and hoping you're not going to notice her. I don't mind it. So let me show you the other accessory that we have here, and that is the hood up. So to do that, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pull the entire head off, not just the faceplate this time. And there we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then we'll go ahead and pull this off right there. And then we are going to put that on as per the instructions. And then we are going to put the head in. It doesn't really seem like the most logical way to do this, but I guess, it says to do it for a reason, right? So there we go. Okay. So yeah, there she is with the hood up, and it looks pretty nice. Of course, she is kind of looking off to the side still, so if we wanted to put the other face on there, which we're going to do that, of course. And there we go. And yeah, I like this a lot better. I will note that it is hard to tuck in. Like there's these little tabs at the bottom of the hood. Those are hard to get in around her neck. It's like really hard to finesse them in there. And then once you start moving the head around, they come back out. So you're still going to see that little gap right there. It's kind of hard to get rid of that. Also, the head doesn't go all the way inside the hood. It's just kind of like, it goes like halfway around her head, which is fine. I kind of seem to recall that being the case in the film as well. So I don't really mind that all that much. It looks really nice. All right, so here's the Black Series Princess Leia. Did I grab the wrong Princess Leia? There we go. That is the 40th anniversary Princess Leia, which looks a lot better than the original Black Series Princess Leia. Much better head sculpt and paint application. So here they are side by side. This is kind of the big one. Obviously, the Black Series one has soft goods. And that really is ideal for maximizing the amount of articulation you can get out of the figure. You also avoid a lot of the seams and the visible hinges that you get with the S.H. Figuarts figure. But it's really hard to make the soft goods look good. They just look very puffy, particularly in the sleeves. And the hood just doesn't look right. As you can see, it's quite a difference. And I have no doubt that if this 40th Princess Leia had photoreal on her, she would definitely look a lot better. I mean, there's no doubt you get a little bit more realism with the S.H. Figuarts figure. Like I said, it is kind of missing a little bit of the blush and the brighter red lips. If it had that, it would be far better. But just looking at it on one to the other, I mean, no doubt the 40th version looks a lot more like a toy or a little doll. And the Figuarts, I think, is probably going to be the better figure overall, just looking at them side by side. Now, I also wanted to bring in the Bespin Escape Black Series Princess Leia, which of course does have photoreal and has a gorgeous looking head sculpt. And I mean, you can definitely see here what difference photoreal does compared to, an old style Princess Leia figure. Just to grab that Princess Leia once again. Oh, geez, I grabbed the wrong one. Not again. Okay, so here we go. Right there. So yeah, Hasbro's come a long way. I mean, this was just 1 year to the next, the one in the middle. And you can see that they did a great job with this Bespin Escape Leia. I love that figure. And it's hard to say. I mean, I kind of feel like Hasbro did a better job with the skin tone and with the actual makeup than Figuarts did. But the Figuarts still has a slight more amount of realism to it. I still feel like the Black Series looks like a toy. To a lesser degree than the 40th figure, but still looks like a toy to me. So there's that. It's not perfect. It's definitely not perfect. It could be better with some slight tweaks made to the facial paint application on the head. But for an A New Hope Princess Leia, I think this is going to be the best option out there for 6-inch. If you just want a standard A New Hope Leia in her classic white gown, the Figuarts would be the way to go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Bandai Tamashii Nations Princess Leia Organa from Episode 4, A New Hope. Overall, you guys, I think Bandai did a really nice job with this one. Now, is it their best human action figure? I don't think so. I was a little bit more impressed with Luke Skywalker from A New Hope, and some of their prequel figures too are absolutely astounding. Although this is quite great, it is not as good as it could have been. I do gotta commend Bandai for being innovative with the way that they set up the interchangeable faceplates. It's a little bit tricky to get the faceplates off and switch them, but once you do it, it is nice to have those options. Being able to interchange the hood is great, because this plastic sculpted hood looks way better than the soft goods hood on the 40th Princess Leia. And overall, I do think that the sculpted dress looks way better. Sure, you do sacrifice a lot of the posability, especially in the lower half of the figure, but this is why we have options. If you want a more action-oriented Princess Leia, you can go with Black Series, but if you want one that's going to have a little bit more shelf presence, well, the S.H. Figuarts would be the figure for you. Or if you're like me, you just buy both and you have the best of both worlds. They also did a really nice job sculpting the dress, and the way they use the beige paint to very subtly highlight areas of the dress is a really nice touch. The interchangeable hands are great, they come off and on pretty easily, and the weapons are very nice sculpts on both of those blasters. Overall, you guys, I am pretty happy with this. If you're collecting the S.H. Figuarts line, no doubt you're going to need Princess Leia in your collection, especially if you're doing all the A New Hope based action figures, which they've already rounded out the main cast. So if you got the other ones, you're going to need Princess Leia as well. Alright my friends, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments, what is your favorite thing about this Princess Leia figure? Let me know. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for the latest news and updates. And as always, I'd like to thank you for tuning in to Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, bye-bye.